How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I wanted to talk about a different situation, but what else I wanted to talk about means nothing to me compared to what's happening right now. And this is so urgent that I decided to talk about this because I couldn't control myself. I'm incensed about what's going on right now. Did you hear about the fact that Rush Limbaugh was going to be involved in the buying of a football team as one of the group who was going to, and all of a sudden he was thrown out of the situation. Suddenly, he was dismissed because of the fact that he's supposedly too divisive and too much of a problem, and because he has the wrong image to own a football team or be even one of the owners involved in it. Why? Because he's supposedly a racist of some kind. And then they created 100 different quotations, which they found out were totally fraudulent. Nobody checked on those quotations, and we found out that's all a fake. And the press of America, all of the press, collectively quoted all these things without finding out when or where it came from, or if there's any truth to it whatsoever. Nobody cared. They were just thrilled at the opportunity to attack Rush Limbaugh and to try to bury him. And one of the main burial services were performed by a complete bigot by the name of Al Sharpton. And he had another partner, Jesse Jackson. Two well-known bigots who make a life of hate. This is their life. That's all they live on. Every time there's any peace in America, they're miserable and nauseous because they have nothing to do for a living. They don't work for a living, and they don't know where to go if they're not screaming and cursing and claiming racism. Racism keeps them alive, gives them a career, and puts them in the paper. And all of a sudden, they have power, massive power. Nobody knows why. Nobody took a vote. They didn't represent anybody officially. Nobody assigned them this job. Nobody voted for them to have this job. They don't represent anybody that anybody knows about. The press of America happens to love leftists and loves anybody who calls himself a civil rights crusader, regardless of what a fraud he is, and regardless of what a fake, fraudulent, lying opportunity it takes to call anybody names, whether they deserve it or not. And they assigned him the right to be the arbiter of decency in America. The press invented these two frauds, these two professional haters who create different lies about innocent people hundreds of times. And the press, which is lower than them, I give a power to a lowlife like Al Sharpton, who's involved in indecent, vicious, hateful acts hundreds of times. In the Crown Heights situation, he's directly involved in having a yeshiva boy killed. And that's what Rush Limbaugh said. Now he's suing Rush Limbaugh for saying it. And everybody knows he was involved in it. Even the family of this kid who got killed wants to now testify for Rush Limbaugh because they know that Al Sharpton is a vicious, filthy liar. And Al Sharpton is now suing. He's claiming he's going to sue Rush Limbaugh. Could you imagine a professional hater, a fraud and a liar who made a life out of crime and causing people death and destruction of human life dozens of times? He now is the judge and the arbiter of Rush Limbaugh, and the question of what he said or didn't say that nobody could identify. This man is a lowlife and a fake, and he should be destroyed. And anybody who supports him, the press of America, should not call themselves a free press. They're a phony, fraudulent organization, and they invent hate, and that's their business. And it's about time we put a stop to it. Neither the press or him should exist until they both change and until they both find a different career and a different way to make a living.